We are at Rogers Center once again. It's game 2 of this 4-game series against the Seattle Mariners. R.A. Dickey will go to the mound for the Jays tonight. He'll take on Lloyd McClendon and the Seattle Mariners. Now let's take a look at the lineup for McClendon's Mariners. They have been struggling on this road trip, just 3-5 so far. Austin Jackson, top of the heap. He's a good hitter against R.A. Dickey, a 4-for-12 run against Dickey. A double, a home run, and driven in 2, and he's a .348 career hitter against the Blue Jays. Also, Kyle Seager down in that 5th spot. He's the third baseman. He's got career numbers against the Blue Jays as well. .341 average for his career, 9 extra base hits and 13 RBIs, and the Mariners have really had trouble scoring runs on this road trip.
They certainly have, and they will face R.A. Dickey, who makes his 33rd start of the season. He's won 4 of his last 4 decisions and 6 of his last 8 starts. He leads the staff in innings pitched with 202 and a .237 opponent's batting average.
First pitch of the game is in there for a strike, and we are underway. Dickey's ahead 0-2 with the foul ball. 18 degrees. The roof is wide open, and it is a beautiful night.
R.A. was really solid in his last start versus the Yankees. 2 runs and just 5 hits. He surpassed the 200-inning plateau for the 4th straight year in his last start.
Dickey was acquired in that trade with the Mets on December 17, 2012.
Lately, he's been giving the Blue Jays everything they were asking for when they acquired him from the New York Mets. Giving them innings, he's giving them decisions, low batting average, goes deep into the ball game, and now he's starting to finally win some games.
There's a little flare into right field. Bautista is there, and Jackson is retired. Well, we talk about the great defense we have seen lately, and everybody is showing off a bit. Dalton Pompey is in left. Anthony Gose hit a home run here last night. Bautista was terrific in the field last night. A couple good catches and an outfield assist. Kawasaki making his 15th start at third. Leason Goins up the middle. Linz at first, and Josh Tolley making his 40th start of the season.
With R.A. Dickey on the mound, he's going to give up his share of fly ball outs. And that's why you have to have some speed in the outfield. And the important guy, I think, is Anthony Gose. There he is out in center field. He's the captain out there. He's going to have to take control if the Mariners hit the ball in the middle of the diamond.
Well, we love Jim Joyce. He's the home plate umpire, and there is no question when he calls a strike. Ackley behind 1-2. There's the first strikeout of the night for R.A. Dickey. 2 down. Jose Bautista certainly the leader, especially in the outfield, and he has had a couple of youngsters out there with him, so he's making sure everybody is in the right position. Come over this way a little bit, fellas. We got to play him this way.
This is the at-bat for Dustin Ackley that he's going to pull the ball, and then when R.A. Dickey got the 2 strikes, it was Bautista then who moved into the gap, moved the other way, saying, well, Ackley's going to slow his swing down just a little bit, constantly making the adjustments in the outfield.
Robinson Cano takes one outside. Cano had a single, or had a double actually, an RBI in the first inning, and part of a 4-run first inning. Or excuse me, he drove in the first run of the game with that single. He drives one to right. Bautista is there. 3 up, 3 down. Dickey sits the Mariners down in order. When we come back, Felix Hernandez with 14 wins will take the mound against the Jays. lineup, but they had some night last night, pounding out 16 hits that led to 14 runs. Jose Reyes at the top of the order, and right behind him, Jose Bautista against Felix Hernandez, the starter for Seattle, a 96 for 19 with 2 solo home runs. And in 2010, Bautista hit his 50th home run of the season right here at Rogers Center against Hernandez. Adam Lenny's got a .357 average against right-handed pitching. That leads all of the major leagues. .357. He's absolutely worn him out. He's swinging the bat very good in the month of September.
And you have to, because the king in his court is on the mound tonight. Felix Hernandez, 28 years old, making his 33rd start of the season and his second this year against the Blue Jays. He leads the American League in earned run average, whip, opponent's batting average against, quality starts, and road earned run average. He's also set a career high in strikeouts this year with 236. You can see it in only just 43 walks this year for Felix Hernandez. He is the elite, or an elite pitcher in the American League.
No question about it. He is one of the best we have seen. He's now 28 years old. He was signed as a 16-year-old by the Mariners out of Venezuela. Jose Reyes, the leadoff man. Broken bat, dribble it to short. Brad Miller has it. Reyes is retired. Big night for Bautista last night. He was on base all 4 times. He had 3 hits and a walk, and in the 5th inning against Tom Wilhelmsen, he got a hold of one.
What's impressive about Bautista is he will wait till the pitcher comes to him, and when they do, he is waiting for it. That ball inside, he's still able to get the hands through it, goes quickly up on the second deck. For Bautista, his 35th home run, 103rd RBI of the season. He is just swinging it and seeing it so well right now.
We mentioned Bautista hit his 50th home run of the season in 2010 right here against Felix Hernandez. It came in the 1st inning, and it was the only run of the ball game. Hernandez pitched a complete game, 8-inning, 2-hitter, but lost 1-0.
I remember that game. That was something special to watch him do his thing, and the Blue Jays end up winning it. Bautista turning around that fastball.
Hernandez is ahead 1-2.
His last start, Felix Hernandez was talking about it. It was good. He said, I had good command with my fastball. His breaking ball was as good as ever, but his curveball, he said in that game, was unbelievable. Now, when Felix Hernandez starts to talk about his curveball as being unbelievable, you know you're going to be in tough.
Had 11 strikeouts in that game against the Angels. 7 innings, 3 hits, 2 walks. Ended up with a no decision. He has really pitched well in September, and Hernandez himself says the only reason he has pitched so well is the manager has really taken good care of him. Gotten him out of games when the game has already been decided. He hasn't pitched as many innings. He's fresh. When he's had a chance to give him an extra day's rest, he will do that. And he has really thrown the ball well. This is his 5th start in September. His ERA is 0.96.
I remember reading all throughout the summer how the Seattle Mariners were watching, really not just Felix Hernandez, but their whole pitching staff. At times they were using 6 starters, and they'd send some guys down to AAA and bring them back up. Kind of like what the Blue Jays did, but the whole idea that Lloyd McClendon and his staff were looking for was this month right here, that he wanted fresh arms because they thought he had a chance to get into the playoffs. They're fresh, they're ready, they're going to try and make their move here the last week.
Hernandez is 17-17 for his career in the month of September. Bautista drills this to left. It's over Ackley and bounces over the Blue Jays bullpen for a ground rule double. Double number 27 for Bautista. It comes with 1 out in the 1st.
You know, it's just amazing that a pitcher can throw 5 or 6 really tough pitches, and the minute he makes a mistake, like this one right here, Jose hits it, and he hits it hard. He doesn't foul it back. He doesn't ground out. He hits it hard on a line, and that ball just took off right over the head of Dustin Ackley in left field. That's about a 360-foot line drive right there from Bautista.
With that double, Bautista has now reached in 138 games. That is the most in the majors. Zunino blocks it, wasn't sure where it was, and Bautista alertly moves to third. With a wild pitch charged to Hernandez. Zunino had a pretty good position when he blocked it, but it kicked to his left, and he wasn't sure where the baseball was.
Yeah, he was going to the right, and the ball kicked back over to the left. And Encarnacion does a good thing. It's a curveball. Down in there, you can see his weight starting to shift to the right, and the ball goes to his left. And then Encarnacion got out of the way to show Bautista that he could move up.
2-0. The infield is drawn in here in the first. With Felix Hernandez on the mound, you expect it to be a low-scoring game. Boy, that ball had a lot of run to it. Came way off the plate inside. It's 2 balls and a strike. I want to go back to Bautista for a moment. We mentioned he's reached base in 138 games. He's played in 150. Only 12 times has he failed to reach base this season.
Amazing. Walks, he takes his walks, he gets a share of base hits. Picked up his 35th multi-hit game of the year last year. In the first inning again, here they are. Blue Jays once again knocking on the door.
There's that good curveball Hernandez was talking about. He's got it again tonight.
Well, he's got a great changeup. Everybody knows that. It's hard. He's got great arm speed, great arm action on that changeup. Start spinning that breaking ball like that curveball. To go along with that running fastball, you can see why he's so tough.
Infield defense, we mentioned they're playing in, and look where the shortstop is. Brad Miller is playing Encarnacion to pull. Cano's basically straight away. You can see him behind the mound. 2-2 pitch. Up the middle. He sneaks one through. Bautista scores the first run of the ball game. Miller was playing in the hole. Edwin picks up his 94th ribby of the season, and 100 certainly within his reach.
Absolutely. That's 5 straight games now that the Blue Jays have scored in the first inning. Something about Reyes, Bautista, Encarnacion, Lynn, they can do some damage, and they're hitting right after Hernandez here in the first. That was a changeup, 89-mile-an-hour changeup, and Encarnacion stayed back on it nicely.
1-0 Jays.
You know, it's such a devastating pitch. You can see the changeup right there. He really bends that index finger in. Circle change, and he rolls it right off of his pinky finger. And that's what gets the great movement and the great arm action.
0-1. Now it's 0-2. Because it is so hard and has such dramatic movement, a lot of people think it's a split finger pitch, but I have gone specifically to Felix because I wasn't sure. And he told me, no, it's a changeup.
Well, you can just see the index finger, how he tucks it in right by his thumb. The olden days, they used to call that the circle change.
Might have been another one right there. Lynn strikes out, 2 down. Well, Seattle's got a good defensive ball club as well behind Felix Hernandez. Ackley and Love Jackson in center. He's the former Tiger. And Michael Saunders, the Canadian, he's in right field. Kyle Seager, terrific stretch of Ironman play at third. Brad Miller's at short. Robinson Cano, the Gold Glover, is at second. Logan Morrison at first. And Mike Zunino making his 120th start tonight.
Got to get Michael Saunders into the game here at Rogers Center. He has torn up the Blue Jays in this ballpark. He's at 5 home runs in his career versus Toronto, so you got to get him in the lineup.
Including his only grand slam here. He has had two homer games here in this ballpark, and one against R.A. Dickey. 0-1 to Munenori Kawasaki, who's batting 5th tonight. In case you didn't realize it, that was strike 2.
That's why we love Jimmy Joyce, right?
He's the best.
There is no doubt what the pitch is.
He doesn't waffle, does he? Blue Jays have taken a 1-0 lead. Pat mentioned they have scored frequently in their first at-bats lately. Kawasaki waves at that outside pitch and stays alive. Kawasaki, of course, played with the Mariners 2 years ago. His first year in the major leagues was with Seattle. A little bit of a tough stretch for him lately. Over his last 17 games, he's hitting under 200. Lays out that high pitch. Kawasaki really was an extra player in Seattle. He got in 61 games with the Mariners in 2012. Had only 104 at-bats. He's played a lot more since coming to the Blue Jays. Last season, he had 96 games and 240 at-bats. He strikes out. That ends the inning, but the Blue Jays break out on top. Jose Bautista with a double, and he's knocked in by Edwin Encarnacion. The Blue Jays lead Hernandez 1-0. Going to throw out the first pitch tonight. He threw it out a little bit earlier, and he is the new host of Hockey Night in Canada. He does a good job, throws a strike to Mark Burley, and we just want to remind you, hockey's only a few days away. NHL on Sportsnet, our new hockey season, and you don't want to dare miss it. Strombo is the host of Hockey Night in Canada.
2 weeks to go, 14 days and counting.
Here are the starting lineups.
Should be a lot of fun. They're playing games already.
There's a game tonight. Playing a split squad game over at the ACC. The Flyers are in town to play the Maple Leafs. Exhibition hockey. Won't be long. They'll be dropping the puck for real. And Strombo will tee it up for you. It all starts October 8th right here on Sportsnet. Kendrys Morales hits a fly ball to left. George Stroumboulopoulos, of course, is part of a great crew they have put together. All of the best hockey play-by-play announcers and analysts will be on Sportsnet all winter long in their first season of all these hockey coverage. Morales retired on the fly ball to left. Kyle Seager mentioned his .341 average against the Blue Jays. He's been a terrific hitter, and he's trying to take advantage of that shift. Kawasaki was the lone defender on the left side of the infield, so Seager said, why not take advantage of it? It's a one-run ball game, and we haven't had much luck scoring runs.
Yeah, so let's try and get something started against Dickey. The Blue Jays basically are playing three shortstops on the infield tonight. Kawasaki, he has played shortstop before, Reyes and Goins. And Kawasaki was playing straightaway shortstop all the way back. The whole left side of the infield was open for Seager. Tried to drop the bunt down.
Ball and a strike to Seager. It's a high fly ball. Bautista comes in a couple of steps, backs up. 2 down. R.A. Dickey in his second season with the Blue Jays has 27 wins, and lately he has really been throwing the ball well, and that knuckler is really dancing for him.
Yeah, there are days where it's really dancing within the strike zone, and then there are other days that it's dancing out of the strike zone. So he has to make adjustments. We've seen a couple of fastballs already here tonight, but the numbers over his last 5, outstanding. He's going deep, almost 7 innings every time out, a whip under 1.
Morrison goes after the first pitch. Lind waves off Dickey. Quick inning. Just 7 pitches required by R.A. Dickey in the second. Cover every angle of the Toronto Blue Jays. Breaking news, photos, videos, and weekly chats. A one-stop shop for everything Blue Jays. Blue Jays Rundown only on sportsnet.ca. Gibbons' take. How about Jays like what Pompey offers, and why not? He's a switch-hitting center fielder with speed. And there have been comparisons already in his young career to Devon White, Torrey Hunter, that type of combo player. Somebody can play offensively and somebody can run it down in center.
You know, he's just scratching the surface, I think, for a player. He's going to get bigger. He's going to get stronger. He's going to get knowledge. He's going to get better and better, I think, if he just keeps trying to work and trying to make himself better. He is getting valuable playing time right here. I was talking to him before the game around the batting cage, and he says he has learned so much just in the short time that he has been here that, you know, it's invaluable, the lessons that he is learning against these great pitchers.
AAA numbers over a span of just 12 games. He hit .358. Kevin Seitzer, of course, is the hitting coach, and he works with all these young hitters and certainly has to be impressed with what he's seen so far. You know, Pompey hasn't got a lot of hits. He had 2 infield hits last night, but boy, he doesn't look overmatched at the plate.
That's the fact, I think, that you can sit down and you can watch him the last couple of days. He's had good at bats. You know, he'll strike out, he'll hit some weak shots, but his at bats are good at bats. Like that ball right there, that was a good take. Tough pitchers facing him for the first time. Took that breaking ball inside.
A lot of veteran hitters would chase that pitch with 2 strikes. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Came right back with it, and that's the experience of the former Cy Young Award winner. Back-to-back breaking balls for a strikeout. Anthony Ghost got one at bat last night. He made the most of it.
Didn't waste any time. Got this pitch out over the plate and hammers it to center field. And all of that one for the home run. That is a good sign right there when he can go straight away center field with a home run.
Anthony entered the game batting for Bautista. Hit that off Danny Farquhar. For Ghost, that was just his second home run of the season. On the year, batting .224. 120 over his last 10 games, and this just in. Felix Hernandez starting to get locked in a little bit.
Got that curveball going now. He struck out the last 3 batters with the breaking ball and the changeup.
You were right on with your scouting report. Hernandez has a good curveball.
He said it was unbelievable last time out. He's got it again tonight. Let's take a look at the usage and what he will throw. Felix Hernandez, there's the fastball, the changeup. Those are his 1-2 pitches that he's going to use in the contest. They're mixing a curveball. They're hitting 169 against the curveball, and then a little bit of a slider for Hernandez. But basically, fastball, changeup, and he starts getting that curveball, and then there's 3 pitches you have to deal with.
Now, I want to know how they hit 169 against that hook. Josh Tolley says, I want to go after the first pitch and get away from that curveball. Then he hits a high fly ball to center field. Couple of strikeouts and a flyout. Easy inning for Felix Hernandez. We've played 2. R.A. Dickey and the Jays have a 1-0 lead. Pennant races is with MLB.com. And that brings you baseball wherever you are with live look-ins, replay reviews, scores, stats, and highlights. The app is available on the iPhone, iPad, iPod Touch, Android, and BlackBerry. Visit BlueJays.com for more details. Certainly a lot going on in the pennant races. The wild card berths at stake. Seattle has their eyes set on that wild card spot. And as we speak, the Mariners are in the 3rd spot, 2 games back of Kansas City, who has the 2nd wild card spot. Oakland a game ahead of Kansas City. Michael Saunders drills this one to deep right field and off the wall. Saunders is headed for second. He'll get there. He loves hitting in this ballpark. We mentioned he has 2 of his 4 multi-hit home run games right here at Rogers Center, and he just missed another homer.
5 in 11 games that he has played here. It's something about R.A. Dickey. It's a knuckleball, and it's a line drive, hard line drive off that auxiliary scoreboard in right field. So it's going to be another double for Michael Saunders. You might want to hit him clean up the way he swings in this ballpark.
Saunders has dealt with injuries. That was just his 8th double of the season, but it's a leadoff double here in the 3rd. Mike Zunino the catcher. Well, he's had a terrific season with the bat. Not too much to brag about with the batting average at 200, but look at the power. 21 home runs. He also has 20 doubles.
I'll tell you what, he does not get cheated at that plate. He's not thinking about moving that runner right now. He's thinking about doing some damage and scoring that runner with an extra base hit.
Zunino with a mini 3-game hit streak. We mentioned this is his 120th start behind the plate this season, and that's a heavy workload. One and two. Zunino, first round pick, 3rd overall in the country in 2012. He hasn't had much pro experience, and here he lines it to Kawasaki. It's out of his glove. Mooney throws across the diamond in time. 1 down.
Blue Jays on Sportsnet. Brought to you by the all-new 2015 Honda Fit. Fit your lifestyle, fit your fun, fit whatever. And by Home Hardware. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
Brad Miller, the shortstop, takes his strike. Miller came into the game defensively last night in the 7th inning and had a base hit in his only at bat. He singled to the left field. Came off Kendall Graveman.
Another guy who doesn't get cheated at the plate. 10 home runs and 350 at bats. Sacrifice a little batting average for a little bit more power. Hitting just .215.
Yeah, and he is the guy that is maybe the more offensive shortstop between the two. Chris Taylor, who started last night, and Miller. But they had an embarrassment of riches. They also had a kid named Nick Franklin they sent to Tampa Bay in a trade. And they've got some nice position players.
For years, the Mariners have had great shortstops coming up. They had that guy named Alex Rodriguez.
Two balls and a strike. There's a base hit to right field. Saunders got a late break, and it's right at Bautista, so they'll stop Saunders at 3rd. Miller, second hit of the inning. Saunders doubled to start the inning. He moves to 3rd. Now there's 1 out, and Miller's at 1st with a single. Back to the top of the order.
Watch Saunders at second base. It's a line drive. He's got to freeze momentarily just to make sure that that ball is going to make it into the outfield. He wasn't going to score anyway. Ball was hit too hard. It was right at Jose Bautista, and you're not going to run on his arm. So the double play is still in order.
Austin Jackson flied out to Bautista his first time up. Jose picked up his 12th assist in last night's game. Mentioned Austin Jackson coming into this game 4 for 12 against R.A. Dickey. 0-1, 1 out. Blue Jays looking for a double play. There's only been 2 ground balls hit so far in this game.
Yeah, that's why we talked about the outfielders, how important they are when R.A. Dickey is on the mound. And it's going to be tough to double up Austin Jackson. Looks like Dickey's trying to reach back for a little something extra on that knuckleball and trying to jam him so he can't advance the ball.
Jackson for the season a .262 hitter. He had a good cut, fouled it back. He has grounded into 15 double plays. Tigers have missed his presence in center field.
I think you're absolutely right. They just haven't been the same offensively either. It's almost like when Cespedes was taken out of the lineup for Oakland, and they're not scoring as many runs.
That was a 3-team trade that took place on July 31st. Detroit, Tampa Bay, and Seattle. Just out of the zone upstairs. Full count, 1 out.
He is a dynamic player, and he's really torched the Blue Jays in the past. Austin Jackson, 348, loves to go the other way. Loves to shoot the ball to right field.
Miller at first, and Dickey's going to chase him back. Jackson has the 3rd highest batting average against the Blue Jays among active players with at least 75 at-bats. There goes the runner at first. It's ball 4. That'll load the bases. So Jackson's aboard for the first time. First walk issued by Dickey, but now the bases are loaded. Dustin Ackley. Left-handed bat. Ackley went 0 for 4 last night. He was robbed of an extra base hit in the 5th by Dalton Pompey. Dickey jumps ahead. Pete Walker, all he can do is help Dickey with rhythm and delivery, and if he happens to get a little out of his delivery, just try to get him back in it. Interesting link between the Mariners and R.A. Dickey. He was pitching with the Mariners in 2008, and their late great radio voice Dave Niehaus was inducted into the Hall of Fame that summer in July 2008. Dickey was just beginning to master the knuckleball, and Niehaus ran into Phil Niekro in Cooperstown and said, listen, we got this young pitcher that's working on knuckleball. Would you take time to talk with him? And he said, of course I would. And the rest is history.
Yeah, took down his number, called him. They started working together. Saying there's going to be days where you don't have your good knuckleball. You still have to stay with it. Have the confidence that you're going to use that knuckleball even when you don't have it. It's not working for you. And you're right. The rest is history. R.A. Dickey's made the great transition to a knuckleball pitcher. Very successful.
Ackley had a good rip, but that pitch was inside. Dickey has actually worked with 3 great knuckleballers. Phil Niekro, of course, in the Hall of Fame. Charlie Huff, a terrific knuckleballer, and Tim Wakefield, most recently of the Boston Red Sox. And Dickey says each one of them gave him a different aspect of throwing the knuckleball. That's a foul ball. Charlie Huff refined the grip. Wakefield talked about staying in the door frame. Don't let your delivery get too big and your mechanics get too wide. And Niekro talked about finish up with an athletic position. Another foul outside of first.
Oh, he does that. He finishes in an athletic position. I'll tell you that. One of the best fielding pitchers I've ever seen. He is very quick with that glove. Accurate, too. He's going to have to make a pitch here against Ackley. Struck him out last time on a hard knuckleball. Ackley doesn't hit a lot of ground balls. Gets the ball up in the air easily.
Broken bat this time. Chris Woodward is the first base coach, and that's the same Chris Woodward that began his career here with the Blue Jays. Woodward in his first year in the major leagues as the third base coach, and he's now 37 years old. He was a 54th round pick of the Blue Jays in '94. Had a fine career, 12 years in the majors.
You always knew he'd be a good coach. You know, when he was a player, it was almost like having another coach out there, helping out some of the young players.
But he was the opening day shortstop for the Blue Jays in 2003 and 2004. Another 2-2 pitch. Cut on and missed. Dickey wins that battle. Ackley strikes out for a second time.
Another high knuckleball. 9-pitch at bat by Ackley. And Dickey got him with that high knuckler. It's dancing towards the plate. There it is. He sees it, swings right underneath it. big strikeout.
The bases remain loaded for Robinson Cano. That's a base hit into center. Saunders is in to score. Brad Miller is right behind him, and Cano has given the Mariners a 2-1 lead. First pitch swinging, and he drove it right past the second baseman. Goins into center field.
Came into this game hitting .321 with 80 RBIs, and he's going to cash in 2 more right here. Head down, he stayed right with that one. He saw that ball right off the bat. Punches it back through the middle for 2 runs.
Jackson ends up at third. Cano's at first. Kendrys Morales, the DH. Pops this one up over near the Mariners dugout, and that's going to be behind the dugout, out of play. Morales has been a tough customer on knuckleball pitchers. He carries a .348 average into this ball game on knuckleballs put into play. And he's a switch hitter. Really compounds the situation. 0-2. He strikes out. 2 strikeouts in the inning, but Robinson Cano drives in a pair, and the Jays trail 2-1. Brian Goins will lead things off when we come. Arizona guests of TD. Welcome to the ballpark tonight. Having a good night. While over in the Jays Care Community Clubhouse, Jays Care welcomes their fan to fundraiser hosts who have collectively raised more than $60,000 in support of Jays Care Foundation. Congratulations for your great efforts. Seattle with a 2-1 lead. Robinson Cano with a 2-run single with 2 outs has given the Mariners a cushion. 9-1-2 for the Jays here in the third. Ryan Goins. Felix Hernandez had a stretch of 4 straight strikeouts. Ended when Josh Tolley flew out to center field to end the second.
Well, let's watch Felix Hernandez now pitch. He's got the lead. Let's see if he can take his game up a notch. Gave up a run in the first inning.
Curveball, Cano. 1 down. Felix Hernandez is 28 years old, and he is among the leaders in the ERA in the major leagues. You look at the young guns, and certainly Clayton Kershaw is the leader of the pack. He's got 20 wins to go along with that great ERA. Felix Hernandez, 207 into this game, and Chris Sale, a great young left-hander of the White Sox, and the future is very bright for these young pitchers.
Yeah, who wants to face any of those guys right there? It could be an easy offer the way they do it. He just seems to get better and better. He won the Cy Young not too long ago. I think in 2010, Felix Hernandez, and all of his numbers this year are better than the numbers that year that he won the Cy Young. His whip is better.
He has such an awareness of what he can do with the baseball and what hitters are trying to do against him. He'll throw one pitch and see a particular reaction, and then take some information off of that and make the next pitch. And there's a running fastball. Miller bobbles it in. Not in time. Brad Miller bobbled it. Reyes hustling out of the box. Logan Morrison wants Lloyd McClendon to come out and review this play. Morrison's the first baseman who felt like they retired Reyes, but the bobble it short made it bang bang at first.
One last hop right at the end there that had to come up on Miller, and as the exchange went from the glove to the hand, it rolled up his finger. Reyes hustling all the way. Looks like he's going to be out. They're going to take a look at this one, but on the carpet one more time, that last hop took a big hop, and I think it messed up the timing of Brad Miller and momentarily bobbled the ball.
You made a great point about it last night, how the Mariners were caught by the speed of this artificial surface. Morrison stretches. Well, it looked like he had the ball in his glove before Reyes hit the bank. So the rule on the field is that Reyes has an infield single. Interesting. Look at the three of them, first baseman and Reyes and the first base coach, all looking up at the big scoreboard. Brad Miller is the more offensive-oriented shortstop of the two, Chris Taylor and Brad Miller. And now the umpires have a ruling. Jim Joyce on the right, he's the crew chief, and he calls him out. Kind of what we expected. So Reyes loses a base hit. The base hit is overturned on review. So Lloyd McClendon, now his record, 32 challenges, 18 overturned. Better than 50%. That's pretty good.
That's about the average everywhere, isn't it? If they're overturned just over 50%.
Isn't that interesting? But it shows you how difficult that umpiring is. Bautista goes after the first pitch and flies into right. Michael Saunders waiting on it. And after the hit is taken off the board, Hernandez throws just 7 pitches. When we come back, we'll be joined by the skipper of the Blue Jays, John Gibbons, for the final time this season. Gibbons. And John, obviously it's been a disappointing finish to this season, but you've got a chance to look at some young kids, and when you see Pompey and Sanchez, and you're going to see Norris on Thursday, you must be pleased with what you have seen from these youngsters.
Look, we really are, and you never know what to expect, but they're our prize prospects. Sanchez has been here for a little while and really I mean, he's fit in and he's been really dominating. Pompey, I like everything we've seen out of him, and Norris has got great credentials. And you talk to anybody, and they say, he could be one of the best. So, we're very pleased with that.
Gibby, we're watching R.A. Dickey tonight. Looks like he has a good knuckleball. We've also noticed that he's using a changeup a little bit more in his fastball. What's up with that tonight?
Well, he tinkers with different things, and he's always studying video, and he's faced a number of these guys many times, and he's always looking for different ways to maybe surprise them a little bit and get them out. So, but yeah, he does have good knuckleball going. Felix Hernandez is on his game, so it should be a tight one.
John, we want to thank you for all your time. I know there's a lot going on down in the dugout during the game, but we appreciate you joining us.
Guys, my pleasure. You're a couple of the best, that's for sure.
Thanks a lot,
Thanks,
Gibby.
Gibby.
Kyle Seager, 1 ball and no strikes, and now it's a ball and a strike. Let me tell you, from experience, I can tell you there are a lot of things going on down in the dugout, and it really takes away from your concentration for a bit. And we really appreciate John coming on with us.
Yeah, he's been great. He giving us a lot of insight.
Yeah, he had some help tonight from Melky Cabrera, of course. Melky was helping him out with the interview. He photobombed him. Of course, you could see the splint on Melky's finger. He had surgery, broke that finger in Boston. That ended his season. And his future is uncertain. Obviously, he is a free agent after this season. Melky had a terrific year. Healthy, among the leaders offensively all season long. And now the question is, will the Blue Jays make an offer, bring him back, sign him? Will he test the free agent market? Oh, what a nice play by Lind. He swiped at it and came up with it. Seager hit it hard, but Lind with another fine defensive play, and that's been the theme in these 2 games.
There's a player who's played on this carpet before. It's been a long time here. Lind picks that one easily. He goes down, he goes and gets it, and then the rest easy. Just flip it over to your pitcher to record the out over at first base.
1 down. Logan Morrison grounded out to Lind his first time up. Dickey might have snuck that fastball in there.
Yeah, I've noticed that. He's starting to throw a few more fastballs. The strikeout to Morales was a changeup, so a little bit of everything. And John Gibbons is right. He tinkers when he's out there, watches a lot of video, trying to figure out how to get guys out. We've also seen him throw the hard knuckleball, then back off of it just a little bit. Those are all the adjustments that you have to make in game.
Ball and a strike to Logan Morrison. He took something off that knuckler, just 67 miles an hour. Dickey's had quite an interesting career. There's no question about it. His career path has taken many different turns. There's a fly ball to right. Bautista's got room. He's near the corner and makes the catch.
Blue Jays on Sportsnet, brought to you by the all-new 2015 Honda Fit. Fit your lifestyle, fit your fun, fit whatever.
Two outs. Michael Saunders had a leadoff double in the third.
Better known as Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth from Victoria. He loves hitting in this ballpark.
Boy, does he ever. And speaking of Babe Ruth, did you know it was on this date 14 years ago that one of Babe Ruth's records was broke? Edgar Martinez broke a Babe Ruth record for most RBIs by a player over 37 years old. Babe Ruth had 137 RBIs at the age of 37, and on this date 14 years ago, Edgar Martinez, the great Seattle Mariner, picked up number 138 and 139 in the game.
Boy, he was a great hitter, wasn't he?
Wow, was he ever.
Little chopper, that's a fair ball. Saunders said it hit behind home plate, and he said, look, here's the spot. And Jim Joyce, he's going to win this argument. He said, no, it hit out in front of home. It was a fair ball. Totally tags out Saunders. When McClendon comes out from the dugout and said, Jim, are you sure? Take a look at this ball. Where does it hit? It hits behind, and where does he catch it? He caught it in front, and Saunders arguing it hit there, but it doesn't make any difference where it hits. It's where the fielder made contact. The inning is over. We'll go to the bottom of the fourth. Mariners lead it 2-1. Show takes place in a carnival in the 1950s and premieres on FX Canada Wednesday, October 8th at 10. Take note, not available on Bell. Lots of new shows coming out as the fall season begins, and make sure you check them all out. Beautiful shot of the lake shore. Lots of fans and a lot of good baseball fans here. I know that gentleman has been at the ballpark a lot. Having a chance to come out with his daughter and watch the old ball game. He knows his baseball. Seen him around a lot.
Somebody's hungry.
Edwin Encarnacion takes a first pitch strike. There's that curveball once again. He could throw that at will for a strike.
Well, it's so devastating when you've got the fastball and the ball that's moving as much as it is tonight on his fastball. The changeup and the curveball at any time. You can just go out there with weapons. He hasn't been able to get that one over yet. That's the changeup right there. He hasn't been able to throw it over for a strike. And if the Blue Jays are patient, you're going to have to make him get that ball up.
Felix Hernandez made his major league debut as a 19-year-old in 2005. He made 12 starts at 19. He's still pulling that changeup off the strike zone. He had his big seasons. Pat mentioned his Cy Young year in 2010. He actually won 13 games and lost 12, but he had a .227 earned run average. Led the league in starts, innings pitched, and batters faced. His best winning season came the year before, 2009. He went 19-5, finished second in the Cy Young voting that year.
He's been durable. He has made his starts. 200 innings now for 7 consecutive years.
If he gets through this inning, he'll surpass 230 innings for the 5th time in his career. Lind is on deck, a strikeout victim in the first. Full count. Bouncing ball. Seager takes his time, and Encarnacion's retired. When you go back and look at King Felix in his Cy Young season, we mentioned that was 2010. His whip was good, but it's not as good as it was this year.
Or the ERA. Look at the ERA. Sparkling 2.27 in 2010. Well, it's even better this year at 2.07. He is doing a little bit of everything for putting up just fantastic numbers. Strikeouts, again, he leads the AL and ERA and whip. Opponent's batting average against. Road ERA, which is outstanding. That's number 1 in the American League.
Yeah, he's really pitching to historic proportions on the road this season, a 198 earned run average.
You know, it's one thing to pitch at Safeco Field, which is a great pitcher's ballpark. Ball doesn't really carry that well. It's big. But then to come on the road and still dominate shows you how good he is.
His road ERA is the 6th best in the American League since 1982. 1-1 to Lynn. Breaking ball. Again, a good one. And to give you an idea how good that is, Felix Hernandez, we mentioned that ERA. 6th best. Only Pedro Martinez and Roger Clemens have pitched to a better ERA on the road in one season. Pedro, he did it 4 times.
Yeah, he was okay.
Pedro had a 157 ERA on the road in 2003, 166 in 2000, 188 in 99, and 189 in 2002. That's filthy.
Same kind of pitcher, really. Power pitcher with a great changeup.
That's a swing and a miss, and Lynn will walk back to the dugout. As soon as he clears the dirt, he is out, and it will throw to first just for good measure. Another strikeout for Hernandez. Here are the numbers we were talking about. In 16 starts, he has been locked down solid.
Everything is a 1 or a 9 there. Look at that, 198 earned run average, a 199 opponent's average. The whip, 093. Averaging a strikeout and inning, a little bit of everything from King Felix. And the comparison, he and Pedro Martinez, Felix Hernandez is a big guy. Pedro Martinez was a shorter guy, but the stuff was about the same. Good fastball, good breaking ball, outstanding changeup.
Marvin Hudson, the first base umpire, came down to check on the umpire, and you could see Jim Joyce got hit in the ribs by that ball in the dirt. It bounced up. Lynn did not foul it off. He swung and missed. And Jim Joyce said, just worry about yourself. I'm fine, thank you. And he's taking a deep breath. There's not a whole lot of protection on the side of your ribs. That chest protector is really based for protection in the front, but it gets a little thin on the sides.
Remember the olden days where they had the big pillow?
I still say they should use that. The old balloon chest protector. The thing about that balloon chest protector is that the umpires used to position themselves directly behind the catcher. And then you'd hold that big balloon in front of you and nothing was exposed. Your shoulders weren't exposed. You tucked it right up under your neck, and all those foul balls would hit right off that big balloon chest protector.
Your arms, about all the...
Everything was behind
Everything was behind. You never had a problem.
It was a higher strike zone then, too. Because the umpires had to look right over the top of the catcher. Kawasaki fouls it into the seats. It's a 2-2 count. I don't think you'd ever get umpires to go back to that balloon protector. It just doesn't look cool.
It's heavy. It's heavy, too, right? You'd hold right.
I don't think it was that heavy. It was really interesting. It had a handle and a strap inside your right arm, and you put it inside your left arm. Excuse me, you had to have a right arm out so you could call strikes.
Yeah, heavy, I guess, isn't the word. It just got
bulky. It was awkward, yeah.
Awkward. And hot summer months, day games where it's 100 degrees and they got the thing there. Yeah.
Full count, 2 outs. Kawasaki drills one to center. Austin Jackson is there, and he runs it down. 3 up, 3 down for Hernandez. It's time now for Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn. Allstate. Weekend of September 27th, 28th, Blue Jays take on the Orioles. There are in-game activities and great prizes to be won all weekend long. On Sunday, September 28th, one lucky fan attending the game will win a Honda Civic. So make sure you have your tickets, and you can get your tickets by calling Blue Jays at 416-341-1234. Or log online at bluejays.com and get your tickets for the Fan Appreciation Day weekend presented by Allstate. Mike Zunino grounded to third his first time up. As Jamie Campbell will keep an eye out on all the meaningful games around baseball as we're in the last week of the season. Mentioned R.A. Dickey has had an interesting career. He was a #1 pick out of the University of Tennessee, but he was drafted earlier in '93 by the Detroit Tigers in the 10th round out of high school and chose to go to the University of Tennessee. Ground ball. Goins was shaded up the middle. Zunino is out. Well, we mentioned R.A. Dickey has bounced around a bit, and you can see that he started out in Texas, then he went to Seattle for the '08 season, Minnesota in '09. 3 years with the Mets, and this is his second season with the Blue Jays. And it's really interesting how everything came about. He became a free agent after the 2006 season with Texas. There's a swing off the bat of Miller. It's a fly ball into center. Ghost is there. So after 5 years with Texas, he became a free agent, signed with Milwaukee. That's right, he signed with Milwaukee, and he was granted free agency at the end of the 2007 season, ironically, on his birthday, October 29th. Then he signed as a free agent with the Minnesota Twins. Seattle took him in a Rule 5 draft, and Seattle returned him to Minnesota. I mean, it was interesting. He went back to Minnesota and was traded back to Seattle in March of 2008. Same day he was returned to Minnesota. So they just worked out a deal involving that Rule 5 draft.
And it doesn't stop there for him.
No.
He went back to Minnesota, signed by Minnesota in December, Christmas Day 2008. Back to Minnesota. So let's back up a little bit. When he was with Milwaukee, he only spent 1 year with them and spent the year in AAA with them and had a good season. 2007 won 13 games. That still wasn't good enough to get him up to the big leagues.
Josh Dola got his bell rung on that backswing by Austin Jackson, and he and the umpire both had a little rough couple of half innings here. Watch the bat come around behind Austin Jackson, and Joyce got hit in the shin guard, and then the bat clobbers totally on the back of the head. Strike three call. Another strikeout for R.A. Dickey. 3 up, 3 down in the fifth. We'll go to the bottom of the fifth. Blue Jays are down by a run. Danny Salazar has been cuffed around a little bit by the Royals, despite the fact he has struck out 7. Kansas City has that second wild card spot. They are 2 games ahead of these Seattle Mariners. Mariners on the outside looking in right now. Oakland has a 1-game advantage over the Royals. They have the first wild card spot. And there are a lot of good games going on tonight. That one in Cleveland. You look at Oakland, they need to win a few games, and they just haven't been able to get anything done offensively. Oakland tonight at home with Sonny Gray on the mound against the Angels. Wade LeBlanc, one of those fill-in starters they have to use because the Angels have been beaten up.
Yeah, 3 starters out of their regular rotation. Cleveland making a rush too, just like they did last year, trying to get there. They're just a game and a half behind Seattle. They're pushing up from behind.
Cleveland 3.5 back of Kansas City. The Yankees are 4 back. It's tough when you have to have everybody lose and all the things have to fall into place. Let's take a look at the wild card standings in the American League. The Oakland Athletics, we mentioned a game cushion over Kansas City. Mariners are 2 back of the Royals, and the Indians are 3.5 back of the Athletics. So everything kind of jumbled up with just a few games left. 6 left for the Mariners, including this one tonight.
It's when you start to look towards the last series of the season. For Oakland, they go to Texas for 4 games. Texas has been playing better. Seattle goes home to play the Angels. Cleveland, they get Tampa at home.
There's a deep drive to right. Dalton Pompey with his first big league home run. Oh my! And he does it in his home ballpark, and against none other than King Felix.
Somebody get that baseball for him. That's a memento off of a great pitcher like Felix Hernandez, your first big league home run. And you know what? There was no doubt about it.
And there's nobody there to celebrate. And they're all giving him the silent treatment. Oh, what a great September it has been for Dalton Pompey. Tied up.
Wow, that ball jumped off of his bat. Pitch out over the plate. Watch the bat come through. And a deep drive to right field.
Goes, fouls it into the seats. That is Ken Pompey and his wife Val, the parents of Dalton. Lots of family and friends here at the ballpark, and that's Tristan to Ken's right. Dalton's 17-year-old brother.
I hope they sent somebody out to right field to go retrieve that one. That's a no doubt about it. Let's see where it ends up. Looked like it hit the second deck. Certainly a Kansas City fan.
That's a fair ball off the bat of Anthony Ghost down the left field line. Ackley up with it quickly, but Ghost slides in safely. Going to go back to the Pompey home run. His first big league home run comes against a Cy Young Award-winning pitcher.
It had great sound. It had great trajectory. Deep to right field, and you can get into your home run trot. Good-looking swing right there.
There's Tristan Pompey, Dalton's younger brother, Tristan Pompey. He just participated in the T12 tournament here at Rogers Center. He's just 17 years old, and he, like Dalton, a good-looking young player. Well, what a whirlwind week for Dalton Pompey. Got his first hit in New York against the Yankees. Gets his first home run against King Felix. Coley bunts it out in front of home, and Hernandez can make the play. Hernandez thought the catcher was going to take it. He was hesitant when he reached for it, and when he went after it initially, couldn't find the handle.
You knew runs are going to be at a premium, so after the double with nobody out, you figure that John Gibson was going to try and move him along. Great bump by Josh Thole. Little indecision between the catcher and the pitcher, and then in his haste to make the play, you see Felix Hernandez pick his head up, look over at first base. He doesn't look the ball into his hand, and Thole is safe at first.
Yeah, the catcher Zunino was hollering first, and pointing. He might have had a better chance to go out and make the play himself. Still nobody out. Now Ryan Goins with runners at first and third. Boy, I tell you what, if you think you can figure out baseball, Felix Hernandez was just rolling along, and then he gives up a home run double and a single. Bottom part of the Blue Jays order. You just never know. Pitch out. They thought something was up. Thole has been the front end of a hit and run several times this season, but he's been caught all 3 times.
Yeah, 3 times they have tried to hit and run, and the batter has swung through the pitch. There's the baseball right there. Good job, Blue Jays. Way to go get that ball for the youngster. And he's been thrown out 3 times. You don't have to do anything here.
There's a fly ball to left. Ackley is back. He makes the catch. It's a fair ball. Ghost tags at third, and Goins has given the Blue Jays the lead with a sac fly.
See, you don't need to do anything. You don't need to hit and run. You don't need to sack. You don't have to do anything because there's nobody out. You let Ryan Goins go ahead and swing. They try and knock him in. If he doesn't, you got the top of the lineup coming up. He cashes that run with a good at bat that way, going the other way with that base hit.
Good job by Goins. He picks up his 13th RBI, and now the Blue Jays lead at 3-2. Reyes takes one upstairs.
Now you want to guarantee that you get Bautista up this inning with a runner on base. So you're not going to hit and run. You're not going to do anything here. You just don't want Jose Reyes to hit into a double play. Figure out a way to get Bautista to the plate.
Reyes fouls it off the catcher. Bautista has doubled tonight. He hit a line drive double that bounced out of play for a ground rule double in the first and scored on the base hit by Encarnacion. Reyes has grounded out twice to the shortstop. Base hit to right. Thole will stop at second. 4 hits in the inning. And Bautista will come to the plate with 2 aboard.
You know, there's something about Felix Hernandez that brings the best out in the Blue Jays. They hit him, and they've hit him in the past at times really hard.
There are 14 teams in the majors that Hernandez has made 10 or more starts. He has the highest ERA against the Blue Jays. A 4.63 earned run average he gives up to the Jays. That's the highest of any of his opponents. That ERA for teams with 10 or more starts by Hernandez. Texas, he has given up a 4.01 earned run average. And the other 12 teams all under 4 in ERA, but the Blue Jays have hit him hard, almost a 5 earned run average for Hernandez against the Jays.
I remember the game last year out in Seattle. They hit him hard, knocked him out of the ball game. I mean, he has had his games against the Blue Jays, but you're right. He only has a .500 record against Toronto in his career.
5-5. He is 4-3 here at Rogers Center. This is his 9th career start. Dalton Pompey led the inning off with his first big league home run. Anthony Gose had an opposite field double. Thole with a bunt single, and Reyes with a sharp single through the right side of the infield.
They just don't swing at it. Curveball, changeup off the plate. They just are not swinging at it.
Edwin Encarnacion had an RBI single his first time up. Bautista wasn't sure about that one. Full count, 1 out. Totally with a bunt single. He's at second. Reyes pushed him to second with a base hit to right. Bautista 1 for 2 with a double. He takes ball 4. That'll load the bases for Edwin Encarnacion.
Most hitters, young hitters, would have swung at that pitch a little bit too anxious, but I think Jose has an idea of what he's trying to do. Almost like he was sitting on that changeup and just took it for ball 4.
The all-new 2015 Honda Fit. Fit your lifestyle, fit your fun, fit whatever.
The playoff picture is changing by the minute. Kansas City has taken a 5-0 lead over the Indians in the top of the 5th. Detroit at home against the White Sox, it's 0-0, top of the 5th. Kansas City is only a game behind the Tigers in the AL Central. The bases are loaded. Toley's at third, Reyes at second, Bautista at first, Edwin Encarnacion at the plate. He's got 6 grand slams.
Oh, high changeup right there. Edwin saw it. Had a healthy cut.
'94 RBIs. R.A. Dickey given the lead here in the 5th. Pompey with a homer. Goins with a sac fly. Encarnacion has picked it up a bit here in September. He entered this game with a .303 average and 5 homers. 1-2. Mariners starters have not been able to complete 5 innings in their last 3 games.
It's amazing. And this man out there, Hernandez, he had that streak. Remember that streak he had? 16 consecutive starts of at least 7 innings. The 16th was against the Blue Jays when we were out there earlier this summer.
It's been a tough road trip for Seattle. The 9th game of an 11-game trip. Ghost doubled and scored this inning. What a play by Zunino. A ball well out in front of home plate. He was able to go to his right and keep it in front of him.
From 0-2 to 3-2. Pitch hasn't been there this night. Good play by Zunino to keep it in front of him. And now it looks like Hernandez wants to call him back out there. I think they're worried about Reyes possibly giving the pitch or the location from out of second base. Robbie Cano came in to talk about the signs that they're going to use. Hernandez calls his catcher back out there. And through the whole thing, Jose Reyes has a smile.
Lind is on deck. Full count. 1 out. Way outside, and Felix has walked in a run. Encarnacion, his second RBI of the night. He's now at 95. Back-to-back walks here in the fifth.
From 0-2 to walking the batter. Teams are very reluctant to challenge both Bautista and Encarnacion. Tolley scores the third run of the inning.
Mike Rojas, the bullpen coach, going to get the pen going. A 3-run inning for the Jays, still just 1 out. Lind trying to really cash in on that first pitch. Hernandez comes back, goes strike 2.
He's thrown a lot of pitches this inning. He is up to 85. It's only the 5th inning.
He had a couple of single-digit innings early in the game.
A lot of pitches this inning. They have really made him work.
Breaking ball on the ground, through for a base hit. Reyes is in to score. Bautista is stopped at third. Lynn picks up an RBI. It's a 4-run inning.
He went to the well once too often against Lynn that time. Breaking ball. Dominic getting up.
Dominic Leone is up now, throwing for the Mariners. 4 runs in this inning, including the leadoff home run by Dalton Pompey. Kawasaki will be the 9th man to bat this inning. Still just 1 out. For some reason, the Blue Jays have Felix Hernandez's number. They have hit well against him, better than any other club he has to deal with. 2-0. Kawasaki fouls it back.
He had one to hit right there. Fastball right there. He doesn't want to walk Kawasaki. He has already walked 2 this inning.
The King's Court a little rattled here tonight. Bouncing ball. Cano goes to second for 1. Back to first. Not in time. Another run comes in to score. Bautista scores. Kawasaki hustling up the line, picks up an RBI on the fielder's choice.
5 runs now here in the 5th inning against Hernandez, and it all started with the guy at the plate. Kawasaki legs that one out for the RBI, his 15th of the season.
Lind is out 4-6 on the fielder's choice. Dalton Pompey started the inning with his first big league home run. Pompey is the 9th Canadian to homer for the Blue Jays and 5th different Canadian to homer for the Jays here at Rogers Center. And he grew up in Mississauga. A ball on the strike. Strike 2.
Before this inning, Hernandez had set down 11 straight Blue Jays and it looked like he was starting to get locked in. He had the lead. And they have really worked him over this inning.
Dickey's had a long break on the Blue Jays bench. Pompey is the 10th man to bat in the 5th. Runners at the corners. Encarnacion with a bases loaded walk. He's at third. Kawasaki, an RBI fielder's choice. He's at first. Pompey's had a couple of pitches to hit in this at bat.
Yeah, you can see the cluster right in the middle of that strike zone right there. He's fouled a couple of them off. Been putting together some good at bats.
Hernandez has thrown 40 pitches this inning. He wanted that call. It was just off the plate and low. His pitch count at 96 after a very economical start. Anthony Gose has doubled and scored in this inning. There goes the runner at first. The ball is fouled back. Kawasaki will return. The Mariners have to be a little shell-shocked. They took a 2-1 lead in the third. Robinson Cano drove in a pair. They have their ace on the mound, and he has given up 5. Another walk. That's 3 walks in the inning. The bases are loaded, 2 outs. Let's check it with Jamie Campbell.
It's Leon.
Felix Hernandez does not get through 5 innings. That's 4 straight starts. The Mariners starter hasn't been able to get out of the 5th. Blue Jays have a 6-2 lead. In New York against Hiroki Kuroda, got his first big league hit.
He got his first start, then he got his first hit, then he got his first conversation with Derek Jeter, and then he got his first start at Rogers Center, first in center field, first of many, I think, great plays in the outfield, and now his first big league dinger. Home run off one of the best pitchers in all of baseball, Felix Hernandez, Dalton Pompey. It's been a lot of fun this month.
He didn't even notice he was getting the silent treatment. He was looking up on the scoreboard to watch the replay of that home run. But what a week it has been. And he's off to a great start in his young career. New pitcher is Dominic Leone.
There are the numbers for Leone in 54 games this year, 7-2, 225 earned run average. Fastball 93 to 97. He's got a sharp slider and a hard cutter. He mixes in a changeup every now and then. Says whatever feels good that day, that's what I'm going to throw.
Anthony Gose doubled inside the third base bag. in his last at-bat. That was here in the 5th. Ghost, the 11th Blue Jay to hit. Bases are loaded. They have scored 5 runs this inning. Two and 0. Felix Hernandez looked like he was locked in, and the Blue Jays said, not just yet. It has been a real struggle for the Seattle starters on this road trip. This is now 4 straight games they have failed to complete 5 innings.
And that's got to be really tough psychologically when you throw your #1 guy out there. You say, okay, we got to stop a losing streak. We got our big guy going. He's had a great year. Can't even give you 5 innings.
That hit him. Ghost's going to be credited with an RBI as the bases are loaded, and Ghost is hit by a pitch. Well, you talk about an inning that went wrong for Seattle. They have walked 3, given up a home run and 5 hits in total. Now they've hit a batter with the bases loaded.
They couldn't field a bunt. That was off the bat. As you see, that ball hit the toe of Anthony Ghost. That was off the bat of Josh Tolley. They messed that one up. The walks, hit batter, sacrifice fly. They're still batting.
Josh Tolley had that bunt single. He bunted it right out in front of home plate, and then there was a communications problem between the catcher Zunino and the pitcher Hernandez. Well, the Blue Jays offense the last 2 nights looks like the offense we saw in May.
Doing a little bit of everything. Taking their walks. Getting their big clutch hits.
Josh Tolley came to the Blue Jays along with R.A. Dickey in that trade back in 2012. There was a third Met that came to the Jays, Mike Nikias, who played at Buffalo this year in AAA. Blue Jays gave up Noah Syndergaard, John Buck, and Travis d'Arnaud. 1-2, 2 outs.
That's an emergency hack right there. That was the cutter, 95, Erasmo Ramirez, who has started for the Seattle Mariners. Now Longman and out of the bullpen starts to get loose.
Ramirez has made 14 starts for Seattle. Tolley lines it to left. That's a base hit. Kawasaki comes in to score. Dalton Pompey at third, Ghost at second, and Tolley with an RBI single.
I'll tell you, Seattle came into this series leading the American League in earned run average pitching, and right now Blue Jays are roughing them up. 14 runs last night, and they're back at it again. They've got 8 here in the 5th inning. Josh Tolley goes the other way. Everything is finding a hole. 7-run inning. That ties them for their second highest inning total of the season.
Goins drops one to left, and Ackley makes the catch, and the inning has finally come to an end. Blue Jays leave the bases loaded, but they have scored 7 runs to take an 8-2 lead. Now it's time for the Home Hardware Cleanup Crew, brought to you by Natura. Home Hardware's exclusive line of safe, environmentally friendly cleaning products. game, and he goes 4 2/3. So the Mariners starters have been unable to complete 5 innings in 4 straight starts. Again, very rough outing for Hernandez at the hands of the Blue Jays. He is charged with 8 earned runs on 7 hits. He walked 3, struck out 5, and threw 98 pitches.
There hasn't been a game that's come close to those numbers right there for Felix Hernandez this season. He hasn't thrown 4 2/3. The lowest amount that he has thrown was just 5 innings. Did that a couple of times, and nowhere near he's given up 8 earned runs this season.
In 4 starts in September, he came into this ballgame with a 0.96 earned run average. And now Dickey's got house money. He's got a 6-run lead. It's 8-2 Blue Jays. Two and 1 to the left fielder, Dustin Ackley. Three balls and 1 strike. Dickey had a long break in that last half inning as the Blue Jays had a bat around inning. There's a base hit for Ackley. A man on, nobody out. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Thank you, Jamie. Boy, Pittsburgh has really come on strong while the Brewers have had a terrible finish to their season. They really had a great season going, but it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
And Pittsburgh right now is really rolling. They're getting great pitching, just enough hitting. How many 1-0 games have they played in a row now?
4 up until last night. I mean, last night was their 4th, I believe. Yeah, they have really gotten great pitching, timely hitting.
They're just getting great pitching, just enough hitting to help them win ball games.
Yeah, the Pirates split those 1-0 games in the final 2 games of their series in Pittsburgh with the Brewers. And they posted a 1-0 win over the Braves in Atlanta on Monday, the 4th time that a team in the live ball era has participated in 3 consecutive games. So it is 3 games. 3 1-0 games.
3 1-0. You better make good pitches.
Reyes behind second. Goins for 1. Back to first. What a pretty double play. That ball was almost past Reyes into center. But he gloved it, backhanded it to Goins, and he made a good, strong throw, albeit in the dirt. Lynn picked it at first.
You know what? We were talking about defense in our opening, and here's another one right here. Reyes up the middle. Look at the angle that Goins has to come to. His back is all the way to the first baseman when he fields that ball. Touches the bag, and he's got to throw across his body, across the runner, so it bounces to Lynn for the double play. Great defense right now by the Blue Jays.
Getting it all over the diamond. Lynn made a play earlier in the game, took a hit away from Kyle Seager.
Looked like a fastball right there from Dickey. Had a little tail on it. He struck out Morales last time with a changeup to end the 3rd inning.
Popped up over near the Blue Jays dugout. Tolley slides into that wall. Hit it hard, but it is over that wall, just out of play. Gosh, Tolley, terrific player. He doesn't get to play an awful lot. This is just his 40th start.
When you get that chance, you got to do everything you can to try and help the ball club and watch him go hard right into that padding of the wall. And who's out there to help him? Mark Burley.
Mark Burley. And Burley was standing right there. That's what you want from your dugout. And you can see he appreciates it. Burley got up and said, hey, that's it. You're running into the wall close. So he went into a slide, braked his momentum a bit. Burley's a terrific teammate. And he recognized his job. He's sitting on the bench and your catcher's coming over. Get close to running in that wall. Full count, 2 outs. We're in the top of the 6th. Blue Jays broke it wide open with 7 runs in the bottom of the 5th. Morales strikes out. That's 5 strikeouts for R.A. Dickey. A double play and a strikeout, and the Mariners go quiet in their half of the 6th. Live. Get live out-of-market regular season games on your phone, laptop, or tablet. Live stream over 1,000 games. Rogers NHL Game Center Live. Got to get it before they drop the puck on opening night, October 8th. And Sportsnet will have you covered. So check it out, Game Center Live. Erasmo Ramirez making his 17th appearance. He made 14 starts over the course of the summer for the Mariners.
One of those guys who's gone up and down for the Seattle Mariners, pitching in relief and then pitching starting to give a guy an extra day here and there. And nothing real special. He got the fastball, slider, curveball, changeup, a little bit of everything for Ramirez. King Felix can only watch now as he gets knocked out in the shortest outing of the season.
He allowed 8 earned runs tonight. Only the second time in his career he's given up 8 earned runs in a start. The only other time was August 28th against the Texas Rangers in 2013. It's the 36th time in his career Hernandez has allowed 6 or more runs to an opponent. There's a high fly ball into center. Austin Jackson over into the end. But we want to point out that the Blue Jays have always hit Hernandez hard. This is the 36th time in his career he's allowed 6 or more runs. It's the 5th time the Blue Jays have done it.
There's no explanation for that. I mean, they just have good at-bats against Hernandez, this guy at the plate, Encarnacion. They must see that changeup because they don't swing at it unless it's a strike.
Look at Bautista. Boy, he has figured out this shift, hasn't he? He got a couple of hits in that spot last night, and he's going to straighten out these defenses.
Yeah, they're going to have to start playing him straight up just a little bit more, and then he can go back to doing what he does best and clobbering the ball. But if you're going to put 3 guys on the left side of the infield, that's an easy base hit for Bautista.
We're going to amend those numbers about Hernandez. He has given up 6 or more runs 37 times, and the Blue Jays have done it now 6 times. Edwin Encarnacion inching closer to another 100 RBI season. He now has 95 with 2 tonight.
Throw something out there to you. Is there a more dominant 1-2 punch than Bautista and Encarnacion in baseball when it comes to great at-bats, home runs, RBIs, walks, production, pitches seen, all of the above? I mean, there are some good 1-2 punches out there, but I don't know if there's anybody better than these two this season.
Edwin with a 4-ribby night now has 97. He's moved into a tie in the top 10.
69 home runs between them. Hanging slider. And now a really good chance for both of them to finish up with 100.
Lynn may have broken his bat, and he's going to get a base hit. Now it bounces over Jackson's head. Lynn will stop at first. There's nothing quite like watching Bautista and Encarnacion hit home runs.
So in this ballpark, ball jumping, Edwin thumping. Second deck. A couple more home runs tonight by the Blue Jays.
34 homers for Encarnacion. Well, the Blue Jays have really worn out the Mariners pitching staff. Scored 14 runs on 16 hits last night and hit 3 home runs. And 2 more home runs tonight. And Jim Joyce has warned Ramirez, and now he has warned both benches. The Blue Jays aren't doing anything wrong.
No. What are they doing wrong? First one was inside. That one was right at his legs. Looked like it was on purpose.
Yeah, there's nothing that the Blue Jays should apologize for. And this pitch appears to be intentional. Ramirez throws it behind him, and now Rick Waits is going to come out and talk to his pitcher, the pitching coach. The Blue Jays are built to score runs with the home runs, and they hit a lot of home runs. But you see, when they don't homer, they're 22 games under 500. One home run will get them a 500 record, but if they hit 1 or more home run, that's when they're playing their best.
35 and 11. Big numbers for the Blue Jays. A couple more tonight, so they're on the right side of the home run ledger tonight.
You know, if indeed it was intentional that Ramirez hit Kawasaki, you got to be scratching your head. So of all the people you're going to hit in this lineup, Kawasaki would be the last one I'd hit.
Well, the fans don't like that. He's a fan favorite.
Yeah, he sure is. And he's a former Mariner. Nobody really knows the intent in a pitcher's mind, but that looked fishy. Pompey homered in the 5th. He also walked in the 5th. Pompey's home run came in his 22nd plate appearance. That trails Adam Lowen, who homered in his 10th. Brett Laurie also homered in his 10th. Paul Hodgson homered in his 20th plate appearance among Canadian-born Blue Jays. And I bet you he's going to hit some more. just 21 years old. Boy, he takes pitches and he looks good.
Yeah, that's the thing. John Gibbons was talking to us before the game, and he was talking about Pompey and saying he's going to get a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger. But what he has been impressed with is his at-bats. Hasn't looked really overmatched. He's had good at-bats and on everything. Breaking ball, he takes it. He's got that bat in a good hitting position.
There he strikes out. It's the second out of the inning. Now it's time for the drive of the game. It's brought to you by the all-new 2015 Honda Fit. Fit your lifestyle, fit your fun, fit whatever.
Dalton's going to get his first drive of the game. His first Major League home run is going to be our drive of the game as he takes that pitch from Felix Hernandez and sends it into the second deck. A long blast, and I'm sure he's going to have a few more of those before it's all over.
Anthony Gose has doubled, and he was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded. Anthony homered in last night's game in his only plate appearance. Hit hard, but right to second base. Cano will throw to first. That ends the inning, but the Blue Jays get two more. Edwin Encarnacion with his 34th home run has a 4 RBI night. Authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Jim Joyce goes out to remind R.A. Dickey this game is being played with a warning in place. Both teams were warned after Erasmo Ramirez hit Munenori Kawasaki with the pitch in the top half of the inning. That's just procedure. Make sure the pitcher understands. You're in the dugout, and umpire wants to make sure there are no misunderstandings.
I mean, he can still hit a batter, right? By accident? I mean, if the umpire feels like he was throwing at him, that's when he's going to get the thumb.
Kind of obvious when R.A. Dickey hits somebody.
I know.
It's actually kind of interesting that R.A. Dickey has hit a lot of batters this year. In fact, he's hit 14 batters this season and 24 in total in the last 2 years, which is a big chunk of his career total. He has hit 63 batters over the course of his career. 24 of them have come in the last 2 seasons. But that knuckleball has danced so dramatically all season long that he has hit 14 batters this year.
Some of those were just nicking guys, if you remember.
And of course, Jim Joyce is wise enough to know if he hits him with a knuckleball that certainly that wasn't his intent. Another strikeout for Dickey. That is 6 on the night. You know, he's finishing up strong, Pat.
What's impressive is he's throwing a little bit of everything. It's not all knuckleballs. This one's a changeup, high changeup. We've seen the fastball today. We've started to see him against the left-handers throw changeups, and that's what he talks about after a lot of starts, making adjustments, doing something different to give the hitters a different look.
The line drive to left. Pompey is back. It's over his head and off the wall. Morrison is headed towards second, and he'll get there. That looked like a fastball. And certainly with a 10-2 score, Dickey feels like he could go ahead and try to get ahead of these guys.
Look, Morrison's a good little hitter. Here's the pitch one more time. Knuckleball that floats up and away, and he stays on top of that. His coach when he was a youngster, none other than Kevin Seitzer.
Grew up in Kansas City. Kevin Seitzer and Mike McFarland have a hitting academy in Kansas City, and Owen Morrison's father had him there hitting a lot, and Seitzer recognized early on he was going to be a good hitter. Michael Saunders doubled in his first at bat. You know, the baffling aspect of the Blue Jays hitting King Felix so hard continues. This is his 302nd career start. It's only the 10th time a team has had a bat around inning against him.
Wow.
302 career starts.
Dominant.
The Blue Jays don't even seem to be phased when they face him. Yeah, he's beat them. No question about it. Dustin McGowan starts to loosen up for the Blue Jays. Saunders with a 3-0 count. They tried to get that fastball in the corner and missed. That's just the second walk issued by Dickey tonight. Well, Blue Jays on that road trip just couldn't buy a run. And they finished up with a tough road trip. And then come in here and they have scored 24 runs in the first 2 games.
1-6 on that road trip. Would you say they scored 18 runs in those 7 ball games? Now they're facing the best pitching staff in the American League, ERA wise, and they have put up 24 runs. Go figure. I'll never figure out the game of baseball. Never.
That's what's always interesting. You know, you hear people say, well, yeah, I've got this game figured out. Even people, hard to fathom, but they bet on baseball. I just can't understand.
You can't. You can't because you never know.
You look at matchups and say, well, King Felix, their team needs a win. He's probably going to have a great game tonight. And he didn't. Mike Zunino, the catcher, goes after the first pitch. Bautista coming in. Goins going out. Second baseman makes the catch. Zunino is 0 for 3. This will probably be it for Dickey if they get through the 7th.
And that's another aspect, I think, Buck, of his season this year. You can count on him. 33 starts. That's 2 years in a row that he has done that. But now it's his last 19 starts. In 18 of them, he has pitched at least 6 innings. He's going to give you innings. He's going to keep you in ball games. He's going to give you a chance to win.
This is bounced up the first base line. Dickey is there. Nice feed from Lynn. The defense has been sharp all throughout this series, and the bats have been going wild against Seattle. Place on Sunday. It's all presented by Allstate. Sunday, the Blue Jays will wrap up their season against the Baltimore Orioles. It's a 107 start. The first 20,000 fans into Rogers Center will receive a Blue Jays warm winter hat. Call the Jays directly at 416-341-1234. Or log online, BlueJays.com, and get your warm winter hat. It's all presented by Allstate.
Hope we get some of those sent up here. That wouldn't be a bad little present, wouldn't it?
Pretty nice looking hat.
You won't need it in Florida.
We won't need it in Florida.
I'll need it.
Cincinnati gets a little cooler than Florida. Josh Toley's had a good night. And a couple of hits. He scored a run. And he's driven in a run. Kansas City has stretched things out in Cleveland. They lead the Indians 7-0. Detroit still has a 1-0 lead over the White Sox. They're in the bottom of the 7th at Comerica. Pittsburgh leads Atlanta 3-2. San Francisco and the Dodgers, they'll play later on. Madison Bumgarner against Zach Greinke. The Angels are in Oakland. Wade LeBlanc against Sonny Gray. That's a later start.
Big games all around baseball. See who wants to get in and who's going to get in. Los Angeles Angels, 96 wins. Best record in baseball.
96-61 start of play. Up and in. Jim Joyce, the veteran umpire, has put a warning in place. He didn't seem to be concerned about that last pitch. Brian Goins is on deck. Changeup. You know what's really interesting about the Angels, you mentioned their great record. They have to be concerned going into the postseason because of the injuries to their pitching staff.
I'm with you on that one. They're fighting to have the home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Those 96 wins, they start today 3 games better than the Baltimore Orioles, but I would think that there'd be some concern. No Garrett Richards, no Tyler Skaggs, no Matt Shoemaker right now. I mean, that's a lot to put on Jared Weaver and C.J. Wilson. They're 2 veteran starters.
Well, generally, most teams will tell you if they have 3 solid starters heading into the postseason, they're in pretty good shape. But right now, a lot of question marks with the Angels. I tell you what, that's why Oakland is so dangerous.
Yes.
They have Sonny Gray, John Lester, Jeff Samardzija. They got a wealth of pitching. Off-speed pitch lifted down the left side. Ackley into foul ground. Well, now let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Well, thank you, Jamie. Great job of that. And Ventura has given up just 2 hits through 6 innings to the Indians. They knocked out Danny Salazar. He was charged with 5 earned runs on 8 hits. Kansas City trying to snap their long postseason drought. They haven't been to the postseason since 1985 when they knocked out the Blue Jays in the American League Championship Series.
Still hurts, doesn't it?
It does. Big hop to second. Goins is retired. 2 down.
The all-new 2015 Honda Fit. Fit your lifestyle. Fit your fun. Fit whatever.
Jose Reyes goes after the first pitch and hooks it into the seats. Reyes had a hit taken away from him in the 3rd inning. He was called safe on an infield base hit to the shortstop, and then they went to the review, and the review overturned the call on the field, and he was called out. Here's another ground ball to short. Reyes is retired. 3 up, 3 down. In the 7th, we'll go to the 8th. It's all Blue Jays. They lead it 10-2. Fifth appearance, and again Jim Joyce out to the mound to remind Brett Cecil there is a warning in place, so don't get frisky out here.
Brett into the ballgame for the 65th time. Last worked on the 20th in New York. He got a hold in that game, throwing 2/3 of an inning. That's 24 holds now for Brett Cecil, 4th in the American League, and a defensive change for the Blue Jays.
John Mayberry Jr. comes in to play first base, and John's father, John Mayberry, played 5 years with the Blue Jays, hit 92 home runs in his career. And Big John played here from 1978 into the 1982 season. So I think they're the first father-son combination to play for the Blue Jays.
And now they have both homered for the Blue Jays.
Big John, he hit 30 home runs for the Jays in 1980. 30 home runs and 82 RBIs. Big John hit 255 career home runs, and he was my teammate both in Kansas City and in Toronto.
He's my hitting coach in Kansas City, so we have some history there. I remember John Jr., when he was just a 10 or 12-year-old kid hanging around the ballpark in Kansas City.
Yeah, Big John was a lot of fun. We got him early in Kansas City from Houston. Cecil strikes out Austin Jackson, first batter he faced. Big John was a terrific prospect with the Houston Astros. He was the first-round pick of the Astros in 1967. And he made his debut as a 19-year-old with Houston in 1968. Just came up right away.
Yeah, it's really funny, you know, in baseball, the ties, the threads that tie everybody together. And you know how he ended up here in Toronto?
Yes, exactly.
His farm director in Houston was none other than
Pat Gillick.
Pat Gillick.
It's the same reason I ended up in Toronto.
Same reason I ended up in Toronto.
So all you people that don't like us, you can blame Pat Gillick. Ackley flies out to right. R.A. Dickey in line for his 14th win of the season, and he was good again tonight. 7 innings. He scattered 5 hits over the 7 innings, and he's been terrific down the stretch through his 97 pitches.
Throwing that changeup a little bit more today. We saw that, his fastball, the knuckleball. Another very solid outing. 7 innings, just 2 earned runs, 6 strikeouts in 97 pitches, looking for his 14th win of the season.
Robinson Cano goes after the first pitch and bounces it foul up the first baseline. Cano, of course, his first year as a free agent, spent 9 seasons with the Yankees, and he had high hopes for this road trip, 11-game road trip with a playoff berth on the line. They dropped this game. They would drop to 3-6 on this road trip.
And if Kansas City wins their game, they'll be 3 back.
Popped up, Cano pops out to the second baseman. Cecil has a clean inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Blue Jays in a laugher, 10-2. Now time for Blue Jays Central Uptick. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn. Everest Medina coming into this ballgame. He'll pitch the 8th inning for Seattle.
Another one of those hard throwers out of the bullpen for the Seattle Mariners. There are his numbers this season in 63 games. Very good average against the left-handers, just 195. He too is averaging a strikeout per inning. And Medina now will pitch into the 8th inning as the Seattle Mariners are throwing it up, and a lot of defensive changes for the Mariners as it looks like they've getting ready for tomorrow night's ball game.
Yeah, they sure are, and they're in the 8th inning. And Brad Miller started at shortstop. He moved to second base as Robinson Cano is out of the ball game. Chris Taylor takes over at shortstop. He was the starter in last night's game. Stefan Romero moves into left field. Dustin Ackley is out, and James Jones takes over for Austin Jackson in center. Wholesale changes for the Mariners here in the 8th. Kevin Pillar will pinch hit. He is batting for Bautista. Jose with another terrific night at the plate. 2 hits, on base 3 times, scored 3 runs. Pillar goes after the first pitch. Grounds it to Taylor, 1 down. Sportsnet.ca's MLB insiders cover every angle of the Toronto Blue Jays. Today, Ben Nicholson-Smith takes a closer look at the season that Jose Bautista's put together. How good has he been? Check out Sportsnet.ca to find out. Many people will argue this has been his finest season, and I gotta agree with you. He has scored 3 runs tonight. That pushes him over 100 runs scored. He has walked 100 times. He has driven in 100. He has hit 35 home runs, and he just had a terrific season. In tonight's game, he reached base again. 138 games Bautista has reached base. He's only failed to reach in 12 games. That's the most in baseball, reaching base in games. Francisco bounces out as a pinch hitter.
Homered in last night's game to give him 203 as a member of Toronto. There's only been 2 other major league players who've had 200 more home runs over the last 6 seasons. Miguel Cabrera, and Albert Pujols. So Jose getting it done. Excuse me, Buck, give him a Gold Glove.
Yeah.
He's played Gold Glove center, right field.
Boy, he sure has. He's played great right field all season long. He picked up his 12th assist last night, and overall, this might be his best season, despite the fact that he's been a 2-time home run champ. John Mayberry Jr. getting his first at bat. Mayberry batting .278 in his 10 games since coming to the Jays, 5 for 18. He has 3 doubles, a home run, and a couple of RBIs, and he's 3 for 5 as a pinch hitter, including that dramatic game-tying home run against Tampa Bay in the bottom of the ninth. Mayberry Jr. is a former first-round pick of the Texas Rangers. Played all of his big league games with the Phillies before coming here to Toronto.
And a nice young man.
Well, isn't he?
Very nice. And to me, he has presence. He's about 6'6". He has presence. He speaks. People listen to him, and I think he commands respect within that clubhouse.
He went to Stanford, played his baseball at Stanford, and I just tried to get him to stop calling you Mr. Martinez. But he's a great young man, 30 years old now. Grew up in Kansas City. Went to the same high school that David Cohn went to, Rockhurst High School. 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball upstairs. Full count, 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the 8th. Kawasaki. Unlike another chance. Mayberry will give Kawasaki another chance. He takes a 2-out walk. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Thank you, Jamie. Obviously, big game for them. Kansas City keeping pace. They have a 7-0 lead. Top of the 8th. In Cleveland.
That's David Price, and you were talking about Oakland earlier. If they get in they hold on and get in. A dangerous team. I think Detroit's a dangerous team with that pitching staff.
Miller has trouble again, but he recovers in time to throw out Kawasaki. That ends the 8th. We'll go to the 9th. Casey Jansen hasn't had much work lately. He'll pitch the 9th. Connected with Ken Reed, Nabaka Osmac, and top of the clock out on Pacific. You'll have a chance to see more baseball. The Angels are in Oakland. Wade LeBlanc, the left-hander, goes up against Sonny Gray as Oakland tries to maintain their hold on that first wild card spot. Casey Jansen into the ball game.
There are Casey's numbers, 47 games. First time that we have seen him in this series. Casey picked up a save 3 days ago against New York, 2/3 of an inning. That was his 24th save in 29 chances, and a chance to get some work here. He's only had 7 walks all season long.
Casey Jansen, his season hit a real speed bump. The All-Star break, he got sick, suffered food poisoning, and lost a significant amount of weight. Robbed him of his strength and certainly robbed him of his command in his early stages of the second half of the season.
Yeah, both beginnings this season for Casey were not very good. The beginning of the season, he started on the disabled list, and then the beginning of the second half, same thing. Did not start on the disabled list, but he just wasn't the same.
Ryan Goins moves to shortstop. Reyes is out of the game. Steve Tollison comes in to play third base, and Kawasaki moves to second, and that ball is rifled into the corner. Pilar plays it off the wall. Morales is heading for second. The throw is offline. Morales will reach a leadoff double. Now for a preview of what's coming up next on Connected. Here's Ken Reed, Nabaka Osmac. That's all coming up right after this ball game. The Leafs and the Flyers playing an exhibition game, and James Van Riemsdyk with a big goal. Now looks as though they're trying to come up with a pinch runner or something. They're looking back into the Mariners dugout, waiting for somebody to put a helmet on and go out and run for Kendrys Morales, and now they will. It's Tristan Orvia taking off his jacket, and they're going to get Morales out of this game. Orvia started in the game last night. He was in right field. He comes on as a pinch runner here in the ninth. Kyle Seager is 0-for-3 tonight. Had a hit taken away by Adam Lind at first. A fine play by Lind back in the fourth. Jim Joyce still with that big voice here in the ninth.
How does he do it? How's he get those pipes going? It keeps. I'll tell you what, when you're a hitter and you hear that, it's emphatic. No guesswork there.
Of course, as broadcasters, we love it. Lets you know right away, calls it very quickly. There are some umpires around the game that are very deliberate and they take their time, and it's murder on a play-by-play announcer. Fly ball to left. Pompey back. Denorfia is tagging at second, and he's going to move up. Seager is retired. He's 0 for 4 tonight. Denorfia goes from second to third. Logan Morrison extended his hit streak to 9 straight games with a 1-out double in the 7th. Both teams a little undecided about their Thursday night starter.
Blue Jays today, as this ball's flying out to the outfield. Pompey settles underneath it. Daniel Norris is going to get the start for the Blue Jays on Thursday. That's going to be a bullpen day. John Gibbons was talking before the game that he'll go 2, maybe 3 innings, and the bullpen will finish that off. And there's Daniel on the bench there. He can do his normal routine now as a starter.
He threw a side session today, and now he gets to sit on the bench. That's pretty cool.
And I like where he's sitting, right next to the veteran right there.
Yeah, Norris is just 21 years old, like Pompey. And of course, Mark Burley, he's the graybeard of this team, and certainly somebody you want to pick his brain every time you get a chance.
And with that move, Marcus Stroman, when he comes back off the suspended list, will finish the season in the bullpen.
And John Gibbons was asked about that. Is that a reaction to his suspension? He said, not at all. It has nothing to do with that. Stroman has had a strong season. He's finished up very well. And I like the fact that after that incident in Baltimore, he came back and pitched very well against the Yankees.
Yeah, he was also asked, is it because Baltimore's in town? Had nothing to do with that. With the bullpen day on Thursday, they might need some help in that bullpen for Friday and Saturday. So Marcus will pitch out of the bullpen when he gets off the suspended list.
So there are the next 5 starters. The Mariners are down to their final strike. Michael Saunders. He strikes out. That ends the game. For the Blue Jays, they have put it on the Mariners in the first 2 games. Dalton Pompey from Mississauga, Ontario, hit his first big league home run against none other than Felix Hernandez.
They have had some good at-bats. They put up 24 runs over the last 2 nights. They're playing with loose and a lot of confidence against the Mariners, who are looking for a win. Blue Jays hitting on all cylinders against the Mariners.
Tomorrow will be Taijuan Walker, the right-hander for the Mariners, against Mark Burley, the veteran lefty. Blue Jays have won the first 2. Stay tuned, connected. Coming right up, here's Ken Reed and Ivanka Osman.